Hey, and welcome back to the All My Love Lucy podcast. This is episode number 41, and I am so excited about today's episode. We have a really special guest today. I know you're in for a treat, but before we get started, I always want y'all to know that we are so grateful that you've chosen to spend your time with us. Truly, it means more than we can say that you continue to join us as we explore and preserve our grandparents' remarkable love story. Also, I hope these audio episodes continue to feel just as meaningful and intimate as the video versions, and I really do hope we can get back to those in the future. I know I've been saying that for a long time now, I guess the last 10 episodes, but I do hope that is still the plan to get back to video episodes. As always, we love hearing from you, so leave us a comment, share your reflections, or reach out to us on social media. And if you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on those notifications so you don't miss what's ahead. Now, if you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, welcome back. I always like to do a quick recap just in case you're new so that you do know what this podcast is about. Each week, we read and reflect on a letter written by our grandmother, Lucy, from London during the Second World War. She wrote to our grandfather, Jimmie, while he was serving in Europe with the U.S. Army's 50th Signal Battalion. Now, they had just become engaged before he departed for Normandy on D-Day, and they believed they would marry soon after there in London and then move to the United States to start a family. But instead, the war kept dragging on and kept them separated for nearly 2 long years. Jimmie was actually sent back to the U.S. before he could return to London, and then Lucy was not able to cross the Atlantic until much later. Through these letters that they wrote back and forth, we're given a very deeply personal glimpse into their everyday lives, their yearning and longing for each other, their courage, and the quiet endurance required to love someone from a distance during one of history's most uncertain times. So pour yourself a cup of tea or whatever you like and grab yourself a blanket, get cozy, and let's return to 1944 today, this time with Jimmie. But first, I know you've been waiting. I'm so happy to introduce a very special guest today, Lucy and Jimmie's great-granddaughter, Scarlett Ann. Welcome, Scarlett Ann.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good. We're so glad that you're joining us today. Now, for privacy reasons, we are not doing video with Scarlett Ann, but she's excited to be here and happy to join in on the conversation, right?
Very true.
Very true. She is. She's been very interested in World War II lately, so I said, you need to get on the podcast with me.
Yeah, I've been wondering about Jimmie and Lucy and their story.
Yeah, and that's your great grandparents, so that's super interesting and personal to you. Again, thank you for joining us. I'm glad you're braving the podcast microphone.
Yeah, I am nervous with public and stuff like that, but I think I'll get brave on this one.
Absolutely. You're already doing so great. All right, so are you ready to jump into this letter from great-great-grandpa Jimmie? All right. I'm not exactly sure of the date because he didn't date his letters. Now, Lucy, grandmother Lucy, she dated everything and was very, very detailed.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So apparently this letter is around the lines of mid-October 1944. That was a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's get started. We're actually hearing from him a very short letter today. Sometimes short letters can tell us a lot, though, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we read it, I want you to listen for something. Can you try to notice how he talks to Lucy?
Probably, yeah.
So think about how he's talking to her and where he's coming from. He starts the letter with, I'm feeling fine and fit today. What do you notice about that first line that he says to her?
He's probably feeling pretty strong today and fresh.
Yeah, and what do you think? Why do you think he tells her that? Why do you think he's telling her he's fine?
She's probably worried about him every day when he's at war or somewhere that's scary to her.
Right.
So he wants to tell her that he is fine.
Right.
And make sure he's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. If someone you loved were really far away in a war, wouldn't you want them to tell you immediately?
Every day, probably every 5 seconds.
Right, yeah. I'm sure she was very scared. How would you feel getting a letter like that from someone far away in a war?
Probably relieved that they're fine or dandy or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. One thing that's really important here, like you said, is that he wants her to know he's okay and he doesn't want her to worry about him.
Yeah.
That's important to him. During the war, people didn't always know if their loved ones were safe. One of the most important things he could say was, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
So even if he didn't say anything else, that alone would mean a lot to her, right?
Yeah, a lot.
The second part of the letter here, I'm going to read this directly. He said, "I wonder what you're doing today. Working hard, I guess. I was just thinking about the afternoon I went to the office with you and didn't let my darling do any work. How I wish I could do the same thing again." What do you think he's talking about there?
I don't know.
So he went to her work. He was probably, you think he might have been being silly,
Yeah.
maybe aggravating her while she was trying to get her work done.
Yeah.
He was probably happy to be there. For him to come to London, because he was stationed in Salisbury, which was about, I think, an hour or two away from London. For him to come to London and be there with her, he had taken leave from his position in Salisbury. Yeah. And so this was before D-Day. This is before Normandy. And this is before he actually had to leave her for those 2 years. What he's talking about here, he's reminiscing about going to her work. And so he probably was very glad to have a break, right?
Yeah. I mean, after having an engagement and then having to go to war, that's scary.
Yeah.
For a woman that just has her fiance that's already going to be gone to war.
Yeah, it sure is.
France and Europe and all those places.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we've talked about this too. The only way they could communicate was through letters.
Yeah, because back then they didn't have phones or computers or texting or anything like that.
They had phones. They did have phones, but they were not like they are now.
Yeah, like iPhones.
Yeah, and you couldn't get to a phone very often, so he would not have had access to a phone. So these letters were their only way to communicate.
Yeah, the best way to.
Yeah. Can you imagine waiting like 2-3 weeks to hear back from someone?
Yeah, I do have a pen pal. Mm-hmm. She's my cousin, all the way from Australia, and sometimes when I would write letters to her, it would take forever because the plane was so far away from South Carolina.
Yeah, you and your cousin in Australia, they wrote to each other. We need to do that again.
I keep forgetting
It's been a long time since you did that, but yeah, it does take longer even now for mail to arrive from one country to the next.
It took like weeks, and every day I was excited when I came home from school.
Yeah.
I would be so excited in the mail. And
yeah, do you know that when I went to London, when Megan and I went to London and I sent those postcards back, do you know we went in September, and some of the people that I sent postcards to, they didn't get their postcards till like December.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, I know. So even now, the mail is just doesn't seem as reliable, but yeah, sometimes it can take a long time. But during this time, there was the censor, which meant that all of their mail had to be screened. When he would send her a letter, it would come all the way to New York from where he was, and they would have to go through all the mail and then send it.
Wow.
Because they want to make sure that none of the letters had any information in them that the enemy could get, and any secrets or things like that. And so he couldn't tell her a whole lot.
Tiny secrets.
Yeah, he couldn't tell her a whole lot about what he was doing.
Yeah, steal the letters and just read everything.
Yeah. So
that could happen.
Yeah, you didn't want to give away any key information. What he's doing here, he's reminiscing. He's remembering a normal day. He's at this moment in October of 1944. He's already in Germany, and so he's reminiscing about a normal day together, just them being together, laughing. He's probably being a little annoying, right?
Yeah.
As
All boys do. Some girls do too.
right, yeah. So that's what he's missing here, and he's reminiscing here, and just that time with her. And then he goes on to say, I have been looking at your smiling picture and think it is real grand. And I don't know if you know about the photos back then.
Yeah, I have seen them. Some are like brown and they look dusty. Some are just black and white and they look blurry.
But do you know what someone had to actually go through to have a photo of themselves made?
No.
So what she had to do is she had to schedule with a photographer at a studio somewhere. She had to plan that. She had to get ready. It was a big event. She'd have to go there,
Yeah.
have the portrait made, and then it would take like 2 months to get the portrait back.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And we take pictures on our phone now.
It takes like 5 seconds.
Yeah, and we send them immediately to somewhere
Yeah.
or post them on social media or whatever. She's been waiting. She sent him this photo. She had her picture made specifically for him, said that he would have something to look at of her, because there's no images. And so, yeah, so she sent him, and she's been talking about this portrait for a long time now. Many, many letters. She's been talking about this picture she's had made for him. So she's been waiting on his response. She's been waiting to hear back from him what he thinks about this picture. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine sending your boyfriend a picture of you and it taking forever, weeks and weeks, for them to say, I love your picture, it's beautiful?
I can't imagine that. That's worse than sending a letter. It takes more than 2 months.
Right. So she's been waiting. And so for him to say, I have been looking at your smiling picture and think it is real grand, then, that just probably made her day.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but she's been waiting to hear that.
All the way far away from where she lives.
Yeah.
And him loving the picture and them just being together. That's so sweet.
Yeah, imagine he's in a war. He's had been on right behind the front lines, in danger. Sometimes he's shot at. He's watched people get killed right in front of him. He's seen a lot. And imagine him pulling out that photo of her to find comfort and dreaming about the life that they're going to have together.
Yeah, and she's worried too. She was worried too, I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, worrying about him getting killed and being shot or something like that.
Yeah. So she had photos of him too, and she talks about how she would pull his picture out and kiss it and sleep with it under her pillow, and she said it had gotten dilapidated, but one of them had gotten dilapidated because she kissed it so much. So
with kiss marks and lipstick.
Yeah. Back then, they didn't have photos. There was no FaceTime. There was no texting, no video chats. So a picture wasn't just a picture.
It was special.
Very special. Very special. It was something you could
see them in a picture.
Right, yeah.
Even though they're not really there, they're in the picture, and that's still special either way if you see them in person.
Right.
Probably even more specialer to see them in real life than just in a photo.
Right, absolutely.
That's still very special.
Absolutely. So pictures back then meant a lot more than what they do now.
Yeah.
They're so commonplace now and so convenient now and so easy now. But back then, a picture wasn't just a picture. It was something you could hold when you miss someone.
Yeah. And even now, those cameras where you have to print them out, they still don't take a long time. You just have to shake them in the light or in the dark or something. I don't remember.
You're talking about Polaroid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are called.
Yeah, the Polaroid where they shoot out of the camera right there.
Yeah.
And you have to, yeah. Those.
That's what they did at the daughter dance that I went to with my dad.
Yeah.
At school.
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw it. It was a good picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, those, that was definitely something to hold on to, something that could make them feel close to each other. Imagine if you didn't have a way to see someone or look at a picture, and that picture that you have printed out of you and Dad. Imagine Dad had to go off to war and you didn't have anything but that picture of you and him, would you not?
I'd be tore up, and I'd hide that probably in something really, really secure.
Right, and you would pull it out all the time to look at it and think about him,
Yeah,
right?
every day probably.
Right.
Probably
So-
look at it the whole night.
Yeah.
My eyes be hurting.
I'd be crying so much, yeah. So that's what they're doing here. You can kind of get a sense of what Lucy and Jimmie are doing
Yeah.
with these photos here, and that's what he's mentioning here. So he closes the letter, and like I said, this is a very short letter. He says, "Well, darling, I haven't much news. I will close for this time with all of my love from your Jimmie." Why do you think he says your Jimmie instead of just saying his name?
Because I'm thinking he's wanting her to know that he's all hers.
Right, yeah.
And he's a special person to her.
Right, and he's reminding her, it's like he's reminding her, I'm still yours, even though we're far apart, even though the world is kind of scary right now.
Nothing's going to break us apart.
Right. Our connection's still there. I'm okay. I'm still yours, is basically
Yeah.
what he's saying to her.
Really, it's a really special story. A real life story. It's really special to our family. And
Yeah, it is. It's a really special to have all these letters and to have a way, like a window into this time
yeah.
with not just a love story, but we also have a window into what it was like to live in London while it was being bombed.
Yeah.
It's also a window into a soldier during World War II, his feelings and what he was doing. And, you know, that book by Michael Godbout, Key to
Yeah.
Command, that's another big window into what was going on. But these letters are really, really special. And and there was that's part of your family history, and I hope that you'll carry this all along. And one of the reasons why we're doing this is so that we can pass this down to generations to come to remember this story. Because think about, this is what I think about, and it kind of takes me to a place in my mind where it seems so much bigger than me. But imagine all that Lucy went through and all that Jimmie went through, and had they both not survived, it would have changed
Yeah, whole
the
different
whole
story.
future, right? So we may not be here.
Yeah.
We may not be here right now if they
'Cause
hadn't survived.
You would not have the same dad because you would have either had a different dad or you would not be alive right now.
And then guess what? You wouldn't either.
Yeah.
So it
Definitely
would have
true.
changed because they both survived and both endured this horrific time in history. We sit here today. Yeah, I know you had some questions. I'm gonna close this letter up, and then we're gonna get into some conversation about
Okay.
what the questions you are having. Here's something really important. Now, think about where Jimmie is. He's over there in Germany. He's been fighting. Do you know what he did? Do you know what he was doing in the war?
If I do, I don't really remember because I
Okay.
haven't heard of the story in a little while.
Maybe, would you be willing to join us next time?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm starting to get the hang of this now.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing a really great job. But maybe next time, if you want to join us next time, we can really dive in again into what Jimmie was doing and look in that book, Key to Command, and find out exactly where he was and what he was involved in, and then just kind of go back over what he was doing with the 50th Signal Battalion, because he was a part of the communications. He helped keep everybody in communication. So the people who were making the big decisions in the war had to be able to communicate with the people who were actually
Yeah.
rolling out the decisions on the ground. If they couldn't communicate, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So he played a very big role in the importance of how the war was
Yeah.
won. Very
And-
significant.
What was the Hitler? Okay.
Yeah.
So he was one of the people in the war that destroyed Hitler, right?
Well, he was part of the Allied
part
force.
of it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He was part of the Allied forces that helped win the war. Yeah.
I was
So-
trying to remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, yeah, and you're going to learn in school too more about World War II and all of that. And, you know, that book, Key to Command, that's another big window into what was going on. Here's something really important. Now, think about where Jimmie is. He's over there in Germany. He's been fighting. He's been also. So when you get there in school, it's going to be fun for you because you're going to have a very personal tie to this.
And what's cool is that we've been having the substitute that might become our permanent teacher. He was in some kind of war. I don't remember which one, but he wasn't in World War II. But
Right,
he was in the Marines, and I don't remember the other war he was in.
Okay, well, you could have a conversation with him about all this now. But yeah, World War II, he would be too old, but there's been several more since then. Okay, so again, something really important about this letter. It sounds pretty calm, right?
Yeah.
And thinking about where Jimmie was and what he was involved in, the world around them wasn't calm at all, was it?
Not at all.
No, so...
I mean, all of that tragedy to go through.
Right. Jimmie was in Europe. He was in Germany at this particular time where the soldiers were still fighting and trying to end the war. Some of the battles were really hard that he'd been a part of, and it was taking longer for the war to end than people hoped. And that's part of this story, too, because they had gotten engaged, and they thought it wouldn't be long for him to come back to London, and they were going to get married there.
And then it became 2 years of him in the war.
Well, not exactly 2 years of him still being in the war. He got shipped back to the United States. Like, he couldn't just go back to London. Yes. Before he could go back to London, they shipped him back here. The war was dragging on longer than people had hoped. And meanwhile, Lucy was still there in London, and she was fire watching and all that kind of thing. And so something kind of scary was happening there in London. There were still those rockets falling from the sky. Those V2 bombs were now on the scene. You know, we've talked a lot about the doodlebugs.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, you remember what I told you about?
Yeah. Weren't those the ones where you had to hide before the 12 seconds had ended?
Yep. Yeah, if you heard it coming, the doodlebugs were called doodlebugs because you could hear them coming like a motorbike, like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And so when the engine, you know, you hear it coming in the sky, the engine would shut off. And when the engine shut off,
you'd be in trouble.
You had 12 seconds to take cover. Yeah. Those you could hear coming. Those you could, know when they were going to drop. But the V2s, the second wave that came through, people couldn't even hear them coming.
Wow.
Yeah. They were supersonic. You can't hear them.
If I was one of the people that were during the doodlebugs, if I heard their engine still going, I'd still hide, even if we only had 12 seconds.
Yeah.
I'd get an early start.
Yeah, it would be terrifying for sure. Could you imagine not knowing when something might happen like that?
I couldn't imagine it.
Yeah.
If I could, it would probably be tragic.
Yeah. That would feel really scary, right?
Yeah, extremely.
And your great-grandmother lived in that. Yeah, she lived in that. So even though this letter from him sounds peaceful, both of them were living in a really uncertain, scary time.
Yeah.
And that makes the letters even more special because they still took the time to write to each other and still took the time to keep their connection really strong and close. If you had to say what this letter was about, what would you say? Sum it up.
It's calming, but it's telling if he's fine or if he's okay and what he would imagine if he wasn't in the war. And it's a calming one, but he's in the war. So, if he first person point of view of Jimmie, it would probably be a scary time, even though he was writing a happy story to her.
Yes, basically, even when life is busy and things are hard, you can still show up and show someone that you love them in small ways like this, right?
Yeah.
So, if you think about today and you take what you could learn from what they're doing with these letters and apply it to our lives today, what would you say?
It's probably going to be a tragic time for Jimmie and Lucy to be apart, but knowing that those two, they're fine, even though they're apart, it's a good story, but it's sad for both of them in first person point of view.
What can we learn from them about how they wrote these letters? What can we learn from that?
That even when life goes bad, that you can still think of happy thoughts sometimes.
Right, yeah.
Because not all the time. Sometimes you can think about good things even though bad things are happening. But sometimes things can be so bad that you can't really think of happy thoughts.
Yeah. If you were in that situation where things were going so bad in your life and someone wrote you a letter and were telling you how much they loved you and how much they cared about you, would that make you feel better in your very bad time?
That would calm me down so much. I would be so happy. But I would still be a little bit worried. But I'd still be happy that they would be okay.
Right.
I'd be relieved.
Yeah, and to tell you how much they loved you and how much they missed you, that would make you feel good, right?
That would make me feel great.
Yeah,
more than good.
So I think that we can learn that from them about how important it is to still show up for people and to show up especially when people are having bad times in their lives. We can write notes. We could, and nowadays we can send text messages. We can pick up the phone and call someone and, reminisce with them, talk about good days. That's what he's doing here. And so this might be one of the shorter letters that I've had in the box.
He probably doesn't like to write that much, but with her, probably he'd like to write more.
Yeah, his letters are shorter than hers and less detailed. I think for a couple of reasons. I've said this before, but in general, men do not talk and share as much as women do in general.
They act like they're tough, but they want to share their emotions, but they want to be cool. Girls, they just shout out their emotions. That's a comment, by the way.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah, you're 9 and you've already figured that out. So
definitely.
Yeah. So, that's one reason. But also, he could not share a lot of what was going on because of the censor. He was not allowed to tell about all the details he was involved in.
Yeah, because Hitler could come and get his letters.
Well, Hitler's people, like he wouldn't have it. Yeah.
That.
Yeah, and then the third thing is also he might have been super busy. He may have been moving from place to place, and he might not have had much time.
Yeah, he might have only had a few minutes to write, like, a summary letter.
Right. Yeah, just something to say, hey, I'm okay. I love you. I'm still yours, And sometimes, and sometimes just a little note from someone reminding us that they love us and that they're okay and that they're thinking of us. Sometimes that's everything.
Yeah, if somebody, like, if I was Lucy and Jimmie was writing to me, like, if he only wrote, like, a few words, like, I love you so much, love your Jimmie, that made my day so much that he loved me and that he was fine, and that just made my day.
Absolutely. So, before we conclude, you had some questions, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to them.
So my first question is, why did Jimmie go into war, or was he forced into war, or did he want to go into war to serve the country?
That's a great question, and I don't think that we've ever touched on this before in the whole entire time we've been doing the podcast. That's a really good question.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Do what?
I've been wondering that.
That's a great question. I really don't know. I'm not sure if it was like a draft where he had to go, his name was drawn, or if he signed up. But I will find out for you by next time.
Okay.
Okay.
My other question is, how old was Jimmie when he went into war?
He was actually older. So he was in his
Really?
Yeah, he was in his 30s, I believe, which is older for to go into the military.
Isn't the scale of how old you have to be 14 or over?
I think it's 18, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the cutoff, I'm not sure what the cutoff was back then. It may not have really mattered because we were at war, World War, but I'll have to look that up. Those are some really good questions. But yeah, he was older. He was in his 30s because I figured it out before, mid-30s maybe even.
Yeah, because I was wondering that, because I think I've heard of a story where somebody was like 14 and they entered the war and nobody knew about it. But I think I confused that with the age limit.
Yeah, I think some of them would actually lie about their age because they wanted to fight so much. They wanted to protect the country so much that they would lie about their age. They wanted to go, and they knew they couldn't because they were too young. So I have heard stories like that too.
Yeah.
But the legal age, I believe, was 18 back then. I'll have to check into that for sure.
Okay. Making sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, those are some good questions, and we'll answer them next time for certain.
Okay.
Okay.
This is something about Lucy that I've been wondering for a little while. Why was the rose Lucy's favorite flower?
Why was the rose Lucy's favorite flower? That's a good question, too. The flower gardens over there is just a really... everywhere I went, when Megan and I went, there were roses and flowers around the store entrances. There were flowers everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
She probably got inspired when she saw the pink rose and loved the design of what it looked like in real life, and she probably got inspired by that and started liking the rose.
Yeah, I don't know why that particular flower was her favorite, but she loved flowers in general.
And I do know that her specific color that she really liked was the pink rose.
Right, yeah.
I like the white rose because in winter they would look so good at a wedding or like at winter or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they blend in, but they're so pretty.
Oh, yeah. Roses are definitely pretty, and we're getting some more roses for the garden, too.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. We're getting some pink ones to add.
Isn't it Eads Gardening?
Yeah.
Eads Gardening.
Eads Gardening, yeah. We're going to get some more roses for the garden, and I specifically got some of the pink color that she likes to add to our garden.
Are you doing a video of that?
I probably will.
We'll make sure to check that out.
Yeah, so she's doing a call to action. But
I like doing that.
I appreciate that. All right, so are those all the questions you have for today?
Yeah.
Okay, those are some really good questions, and like I said, those first two that you asked, I'll find out for sure on the
Rose and why he entered.
Yeah, and if he was drafted or if he just signed up. I think he just signed up, but I'll check on that. I think I could probably talk to some of the family and find that out for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
Maybe. So, I've been wondering, is there still like more than one sibling that Jimmie has that's still living?
No, he just has one living sibling, and you know who that is.
Great Aunt Julia.
Great Aunt Julia.
She's 94. That's crazy.
I think she's 94. I think
93 or 94. It's somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It's in the 90s. I do know that.
And she's fabulous.
Yes. She's healthy and she's happy.
Oh yeah, she is. She's always been spunky and just a great person. Yeah, she's the only one that's living, his only living sibling. So, is that all?
Yeah.
All right. So you are going to join us next time?
Yes.
That is awesome. You've done an amazing job today.
Yeah, I've been starting to like this.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy doing it too. So I really appreciate you braving the podcast microphone and getting on here with me, because I have told the people that I do not want to do this by myself. And Megan has been so busy. And so I had even thought about just ending it.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was just doing it alone.
That's so sad.
I know. I just thought, well, I'll just wrap it up and read the last letter and just be done with it, because I just didn't want to do it alone anymore.
Yeah, the reason why I haven't been in here is because I started getting nervous about it, because I do have, I don't like to talk to public that much. I get nervous with that. So.
But you do a great job. And even at school, I know you don't like to get on stage at school, but every time that you ever have, you have just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I got the jitters at the beginning of the video, but as I've been talking to you, I've been starting to calm down and feel better. Yeah,
it's not scary.
And since you've been doing this for a long time, I mean, you're on the 41st episode already.
I'm still just amateur and still just, I get nervous too, but it's fun, and the most important thing that I like to keep at the center is this story is incredible.
Yeah, getting to talk with people,
Yeah.
that's probably the best part.
Yeah, I love having somebody to talk to. So
Yeah, I
that's
wouldn't
good.
like to do this alone either
Right,
if I were
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I don't like to do it either alone. So, but thanks again for joining. And so next time we're going to hear from Lucy again.
Okay.
So we're going to have another letter from her. She's much more detailed and it's a much longer letter to kind of break apart and dive into.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Her letters are. One of the things I really love about her letters is that she does give us a different view of the same story. So she's got a different perspective from where she is. And where Jimmie is steady and he can't say a lot, but we've got the Key to Command book, so we know what he's doing. We know what he's involved in.
Because I know you have found a picture of him.
Oh, yeah, we've got lots of pictures of him. And our friend Michael Godbout, the author of that book, he has sent me a lot of things about Jimmie so that we know a lot that we didn't know.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, yeah. Michael's dad and Grandpa Jimmie were in the same 50th Signal Battalion, in the same unit, and they were on the same boat that landed at Utah Beach in Normandy on D-Day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Michael is the one who wrote that book, and that's another thing I was going to mention. If the world is still here in September, then we're supposed to go to Normandy. We're going to go back to London, but we're supposed to go and meet Michael and his wife in Normandy there.
Wow.
So yeah, if we can make that happen, which is what our plan is, I'm a little nervous about the state of the world right now. So
I'd love to go on planes with my mom, but I have a terrible thing with heights.
Well,
and I'm not good with planes.
Well, listen, if I can do it, anybody can, because I was so afraid. But
I'm terrified. I just don't. I mean, you're going past up the clouds, and I cannot do that.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, but you got to do it. If you're going to do it, you got to do it. If you're going to live.
I don't know.
All right, so Lucy is going to be sharing. She shares more of what she's doing day to day in London. So the next episode we're going to step back into her world and see what life looked like at this moment in time from her.
In 1944.
44, and this is October, yeah. And do you know, we still have letters all the way through to April of 1946.
So 2 years.
We still have a year and a half.
Like 1 year?
We still have a year and a half left of letters.
Wow.
Worth of letters.
That's a lot of letters.
I know.
Lucy.
Yeah.
She probably sends them every day, probably.
Yeah, she wrote him a lot. She always wanted to have a letter in the mail to him. So, okay. Well, if you're listening and have enjoyed this episode, especially hearing a younger voice join in on the conversation, we would love to hear from you. So make sure that you leave us a comment and tell us, have you ever written a letter to someone you love, or leave us some comments, whatever. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Subscribe. And be sure to like this episode.
Hit that notification bell.
Hit the notification bell. She's been watching YouTube. Can you tell? And share it with someone who might enjoy the story. If you know someone who is interested in World War II or love stories or historical love stories, historical romance, let them know about this podcast. It really helps us to continue to tell the story. We appreciate any and all engagement. Were you going to say something else?
Yeah, and also if you have somebody that was in the war that's still living today, that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
To let us know.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Or maybe you have a box of love letters from someone during this time. We'd love to hear from you.
Love it.
Yeah, and even have you on as a guest. That'd be cool, too.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
We'd love that.
All right. So, as always, we're going to close with an uninterrupted reading of this letter. So, until next time, enjoy.
Bye.
Dearest darling, Just a few lines to put another letter in the post and let you hear from me. I'm feeling fine and fit today and hope this finds my sweetheart the same. I wonder what you're doing today. Working hard, I guess. I was thinking about the afternoon I went to the office with you and didn't let my darling do any work. How I wish I could do the same thing again. I have been looking at your smiling picture and think it is real grand. Well, darling, as I haven't much news, I will close for this time with all of my love from your Jimmie.